Hi everyone, this is Lori Lines. I wanted to come on here and say this QHHT session you're about to listen to may be very difficult for some of you to hear because the first 30 minutes or so are so raw. I did edit out some of the emoting without taking out the impact this session has. I am so amazed at the courage this young woman has as she received the information and the healing that she so needed on that day, as she discovered the root causes of her relationship lessons, her desire for love and her impatience surrounding that, feeling like a burden to others, and her most recent heartbreak. From the evidence of her past lives, she just didn't live long enough to experience love fully. Interestingly, after the session, she intimated that she remembered very little of what she experienced. But she did heal her broken heart for the most part, and now understands where her relationship patterns originated. I want to thank you so much, Quinn, for giving me permission to share this little part of you so that others can learn from your experience for their own lives. And thank you for being a beacon of light for those suffering from a lack of self-love.
It's like nothing in existence. I just feel grass and see the stars.
From your perspective, how are you seeing the stars?
They are very bright light.
Mm-hmm.
The sky is very black, but you can see how there's like an arch, like is like the world is round. That's all I see. It's very quiet, peaceful. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Did you say the world is round?
Yeah.
So are you above that, or?
I'm just standing in the ground.
Okay. Tell me about the arch. Can you explain what you mean?
It's like the stars are, it's like I don't know how to describe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it feels like a bulge. I don't know, I just see that.
Okay. Very good. Do you feel like you have a body?
I don't think so. I just see my feet, but I don't feel like I have a body.
Okay. Do you hear anything?
No.
Okay.
It's very quiet.
Okay.
Very tranquil.
Okay.
Feel like I'm the only one here.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Do you feel, besides my voice, is anything communicating to you?
No.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel connected to anything?
No.
Mm-hmm. Very good. What are your thoughts and feelings about this that you're experiencing? Looking up at the stars.
Feel peaceful,
Mm-hmm.
but confused.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more about the confusion.
I feel lost.
Okay.
I don't know why I was put here.
You feel lost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What comes up in your mind when you feel lost? From your perspective as this entity, I'm going to call you an entity, okay? That you are looking at the stars.
I feel like I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How else is this affecting you?
I feel like I really want to find something, but I don't know what am I gonna find.
Okay.
It's just black.
Yeah.
I can't see anything but the stars in my feet.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't even move.
That's okay. Can you look down around you and find out why you can't move? Is there anything holding you?
The grass is gone.
The grass is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You're doing beautifully. You're doing beautifully, and you don't have to have any physical emotions or sensations, and you can talk about it. So I want you to move away from that scene. Let's leave that scene and let's move forward to an important time or a day that you consider to be important when something may be happening. We've now moved forward to an important day. What's happening? What do you see?
I'm in Alex's room,
Okay.
and I'm just holding his hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dark room, but I look into his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel that his heart is connected to mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to leave, but I can feel that he's sad, and I feel sad too.
Tell me more about
Because he's a lost soul like me. There's nowhere else I'd be. I just feel connected to him. I don't even know why I came back.
Tell me about coming back.
I like the touch of his hand. And I want him to forever hold me. Because they make me feel safe.
Okay. From your perspective, is this lifetime or another lifetime?
This
Tell me how this is making you feel, this memory.
I feel happy. But I feel like I messed it up.
You feel like what?
I feel like I messed it up.
How did you mess it up? From your perspective.
I feel like I wish I didn't say anything to him.
You wished you didn't say anything to him?
I wish I didn't tell him how I feel. Maybe if I didn't tell him how I feel, I would have never left. No, I would have never had to say goodbye to him. He told me we should stop seeing each other because I told him how much I liked him.
When you told him how much you liked him, were you being authentic to yourself?
Yes.
How can that be wrong?
I don't know.
Okay. And what happened next? After you told him how you felt?
He let go of my hand and I'm being pushed back into the dark.
You're doing beautifully.
I feel scared. I feel scared that I don't feel anything.
You're doing fine. So, I want you to move away from that scene. You are now at another time and place. What's happening? What are you doing? What do you see?
I see that I'm being pushed out of the womb.
Okay.
The mom said that she didn't want me. I wanted to meet her so bad, but she didn't want me.
And from your perspective, when did she say this?
She said this as if when she was pushing me out.
Okay.
I see a scalpel.
Okay. Beg your pardon?
I was a boy.
You were a boy. So are you out of the womb now?
Yeah.
And what's happening now? What's going on now?
I hear something about adoption. Like she didn't want to do anything with me. And they're putting me up to adoption. And there's this old man. I think he's going to adopt me. He had a very thick beard. I was grabbing onto it. And he had this pretty smile, this warm smile.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just warm and welcoming. His hands were big.
And how does that feel?
I feel safe.
Good. Mm-hmm. What happens next?
I hold on to his hand and I don't let go.
Oh, very good.
He told me that I was the biggest little boy he's ever seen.
He tells you you're the biggest little boy?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And how did that make you feel?
I laughed.
Mm-hmm. How big are you now?
Like, I can see that my hands were really big.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a really fat baby.
Aw. Mm-hmm.
He taught me everything. He taught me love.
Mm-hmm.
He was the best father ever.
Mm.
And I don't even know his name.
Okay.
But one day he put me in a trolley.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going on a trip. And he was going somewhere. I don't even remember where he was going.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing you know, I just felt a big crash. And I never saw him again.
Oh. So what happens next after the crash?
I saw him lay there lifeless.
Mm-hmm. How big are you?
I was still the same size.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he didn't want me to. That's why he left.
Your interpretation is he didn't want what? He didn't want
He didn't want me.
Oh. Okay, so that's your interpretation.
Yeah, that's all I see. It was, the ground was raining.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just laying there.
Mm-hmm.
I hear horses.
Mm.
And I hear, get him help, get him help.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they didn't see me.
Mm.
I was just laying there as the rain went on me. The whole sky was just like an afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I think I see Big Ben.
Mm-hmm. accident and he's no longer with you.
Yeah.
And you interpret him as leaving you.
Yeah.
What happens next? What happens next?
I was just pushed back into the dark.
Okay.
And the bright light said, "My child, you needed love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry about what you went through.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to place you in a family that they are two old souls,
Mm-hmm.
and they are going to teach you how to love.
Okay.
You are new, my child, but you are going to learn so much.
Mm-hmm.
I know you feel lost now, my child, but the two souls are going to make sure that you feel loved."
Okay. And from your perspective, who is this talking to you?
It's the bright light talking to me.
Okay. And how
His voice was very warm.
Okay.
He said, "Your soul feels really sad,
Mm-hmm.
but you are going to be okay."
Mm-hmm.
And
How does he make you feel?
he makes me feel like my next life is going to be better.
Mm-hmm. So what happens next?
I see my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at me and told me that I have big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The whole hospital was just so crowded.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like she wanted to hold me.
Mm-hmm.
She loved me.
Mm-hmm.
She really did.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this dog beside me. He was a big yellow dog.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kept sniffing me.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman said to me, "This is Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy is going to be your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to love him."
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad came in. My dad was this brown-haired man.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was this blonde.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just loving me and all of that. And then I went home and Buddy was just, his nose was in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I was still a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept licking my hand, and I liked it very much. I was very happy.
Mm-hmm.
I went home, and we were in this big wooden house.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one around. It was the most peaceful house. And it was just my parents, me, and Buddy the dog.
Oh.
And then when I went home, they were feeding me carrots. It was very yummy. I liked the orange color.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry, I also dropped down some pieces to share the bunny too.
Mm-hmm. Does he eat them?
He takes a bite and then spits it out, but
Mm-hmm.
his tail was still wagging.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom and my dad were just having a talk. They were very loud. I have no idea what's going on, but they were just talking, and I think my dad was yelling at my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my mom was in tears because my dad cheated on her.
Mm.
She was telling how she just gave birth to me, and what he did is that he went and found a younger woman.
Mm-hmm.
Found a younger woman. So he basically, it was a lot of yelling.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see what's going on. And then after that, I heard a scream. It was probably my mom. And then I see Buddy go chase after my dad and bit him in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he looked at me and he said, "I wanted nothing to do with you."
Mm.
And then knocked my chair down and bashed my head onto the floor till I was dead.
Oh,
And then after that, there was this bright light.
okay.
There was this bright light. I felt really peaceful.
Okay.
It's like I could still feel the pain in my head,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm okay. I just want to be loved.
Mm-hmm. And from that position, you can look back at your entire life as this boy and see it from a different perspective. Every life has a lesson and a purpose. As you look at that life, what did you learn from it?
I learned that Alex was the bearded man who loved me.
Okay.
So I always loved that spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could tell that that old man loved me.
Right.
But he died in a trolley accident.
Mm-hmm. What do you think was the purpose of that life?
To introduce me to love.
Mm-hmm.
To introduce me to security.
Mm-hmm. You're doing beautifully.
No wonder why I felt so attached to him.
Doing beautifully. Now, as you listen to the sound of my voice, let's drift away from that life. May I speak to Quinn's higher self, please?
Yeah,
I have permission to speak to Quinn's higher self.
yeah.
you chose to bring forward the life of this entity seeing their feet, standing on grass, looking up at the stars, didn't feel a body, felt silence and tranquil, and then felt lost. Why did you pick that to show her today?
I wanted to pick that for her to show where she came from. A soul, a peaceful soul, and that her soul is pure, and she is reminded that that is her original state, pure and untouched, because her soul is as beautiful as she was, an innocent soul.
Mm-hmm.
I gave her big feet because I just wanted her to see what she was standing on. And plus, I wanted to give her a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Because big feet is funny for a very little body.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. You chose to bring forward the life of, or the memory, let's put it that way, of when she was in the room with Alex holding his hand, and she shared with him how she felt. And then she felt abandoned, and she felt like she wished she hadn't told him how she felt. Tell me why you picked that to show her.
I picked that to show her because I wanted her to see his soul that one last time. And maybe, who knows, I'm not going to spoil it to her. But maybe she might meet him again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, I like playing tricks up my sleeve.
Tell me more about that.
Because I feel like her soul is very funny, but she's very pure at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
She has also qualities to brighten other people and so forth. And I just feel like she has a lot of things going her way. And I'm going to let her figure it out.
Okay.
But I know for sure that she likes to make people laugh.
Mm-hmm.
She really do. And I feel like she can bring such a bright light in this world.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that she has so much love to give.
Mm-hmm.
But I showed Alex because he was a gentleman. He had a gentle soul. But he wasn't ready for her yet.
Mm-hmm.
She felt like she was ready for him. But honestly, she's not ready. She needs to learn that her love is special. And it should be held like a crystal. And that crystal, not everyone will see it as a crystal. But she needs to save it for those who will love her for her.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't need to try so hard. She doesn't. She's kind of going on the right path.
Okay.
But at the same time, she'll find her true self when she gets older.
Okay.
She's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
But she has this lesson that she needs to just love herself. Because she's so pretty. Her soul is a dazzling diamond. I'm guessing she finds it hard to love herself because her 3 lives that she went through just gave her the difficulty of finding love in herself.
Okay. So is that why you showed her these other 2 lives, where one, she was pushed out of the womb and not loved by her mother, but found by the old man, adopted by the old man, and then lost that relationship, and then she was a boy that was came into a new family who initially loved her, but then the father ultimately killed him.
Yeah. Because I wanted to show her that in order to know what peace feels like, you must also know pain. You must also know the darkness. Hence why in the beginning I showed her the stars. Because the stars, you can't see the stars if it's not the dark. And that I wanted her to understand that she has the ability to see many things that are the opposite of her, and use that talent to help herself.
Okay. Thank you.
I think she's pretty healthy because her soul is just fresh out of the sky.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
She'd like to know if she's headed in the right direction in her current life.
Yes, she is.
Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, she learns very quickly. Especially for 3 souls. But I suggest she should work on 2 things: self-love and also knowing how to stand up for herself.
Okay. Have you any suggestions for her as to where she can begin learning this? I know she's already in lessons, but can you articulate anything that maybe she could do to help herself better with these 2 things that you're suggesting?
She should stop lying to herself. She has a lot of more potential than what she thinks she does. Like, I think the limitations were I think she has like physical insecurities. I don't mean like bodily insecurities, but like boundaries that are preventing her from doing so.
So are you suggesting that she learn boundaries?
Yes.
Okay. And what else can you suggest to her?
I also suggest to her that she doesn't need to act so flamboyant to catch anyone's eye, because I can tell that there are a lot of souls that admire her from her far, but she will never know that. Only I do.
What types of lessons besides boundaries and not lying to herself does she need to learn in this life?
I think she also just needs to learn to be true to herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of her talents is that she's able to understand a lot of souls, energies, and a lot of things. But she tries so hard to fit into the needs of those. She tends to forget about herself. And it makes it like a little worse when it comes to the part where she feels like no one loves her, because a lot of souls love her. But she'll get better with it over time.
Okay. Why does she tend to give so much and forget herself?
Because she wants to feel loved. She felt like her soul always feels like she's a burden. Her soul always feels like she's a burden for existing. And she wants to give back, to have the equality, to have a part of her be a positive impact to those who she is around. And hopefully that they will remember her.
So what's causing this feeling of being a burden to others?
Her past lives.
So this comes from another life?
Yeah.
When was the very first time the soul of Quinn experienced this?
She first felt it when one of her past lives, when she was a child and her mom didn't want her, hence she got adopted.
Okay. So was it that same lifetime that you showed her before?
Yes.
Okay. And that is the beginning of her feeling like she was a burden?
Yeah. Like, it was hard for her to heal it because she felt like she didn't do anything wrong. Hence, she felt like she doesn't know how to fix it or how to forgive herself. Because she saw that if no one wanted her from birth, then definitely why would anyone want her as she grew older?
Okay. So, what is the purpose for Quinn to experience that? What is she trying to understand from feeling like a burden?
She's trying to understand that. She's trying to understand that she is not a burden, but it's impactful. Her soul wanted to learn that in order to feel those that are suffering or hurting, you must hurt yourself in order to know what to do.
So what's the purpose?
The purpose of that is that I wanted to show her that her love is not a burden.
Okay.
And that her love is joyful.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, if she gives out too much love, she is just going to burden herself.
Mm-hmm. So what do you suggest when you mean when she gives too much love? What are you suggesting?
I am suggesting that she should give the love that she gives to others the same amount she gives to others to herself.
Okay. Does she understand this now? Has she learned all she needs to know?
She's still struggling through it,
Mm-hmm.
but she's so much better. She's so much better.
Well, so what more does she need to understand about this then?
She just needs to be patient.
Mm-hmm. What I'd like to know is, does she understand enough to where you can now release and heal this for her now? Now that she has a semblance of understanding, can you help her heal this now?
I will help her heal a little bit.
Okay.
But not completely.
How come?
Because I will tie it to other lessons that I cannot disclose of now.
Okay. So go ahead, if you don't mind, whatever you need to do. Does she hold any residue of that in her body? Any residue of that energy in the body?
It's in the heart.
Okay.
She holds that in her heart.
Will you be healing that then right now? That part?
Yeah.
Can I ask you to begin that now, please? And I'm curious how you're doing it.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm just going to quote unquote, bedazzle it.
Okay. Does she feel or sense anything as you heal this?
She feels as if her heart is getting lighter.
Okay. Thank you.
And she feels like she wants to giggle.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm taking over her body right now, so she can't giggle.
Okay. So higher self, what will Quinn feel or notice after the session regarding that feeling that she's had being a burden?
She will feel like she's less of a burden. She will feel like she'll feel like she gained a sense of renewal of her value.
Okay.
But the thing is, she needs to practice it.
Right.
Because I can only heal the part.
Mm-hmm.
But if she doesn't maintain it,
right,
then we'll see what I can do.
Thank you. So, higher self, you mentioned that she needs to maintain it. Do you have any suggestions how she can do that?
She's already doing a part of it now.
Okay.
Which is practicing taking care of herself.
Okay.
She also began to be very vocal about her needs.
Okay.
She used to prioritize others so much she forgets about her own.
Right.
And she has been learning to be pickier about what she wants to do with her life, who she wants to be with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the last things she has to do is that she has to have more confidence in herself.
Okay. How does she attain that? What do you suggest?
I suggest just work through it. Okay. There is no magic behind it,
mm-hmm.
but accept owning up to what you say, owning up to your mistakes, stop lying to herself.
Mm-hmm.
She can't change others that she has around her, but she can most certainly change herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's doing a very stellar job. Yeah, like, do you get it? Stellar? Because I set her in her first life as the stars.
Mm-hmm. I do now. I was a little slow. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, she's doing a very stellar job.
Okay. How can she better herself?
Keep up what she's doing now.
Okay.
Everything will come at the right time, right moment, but she just needs to be patient.
Mm-hmm. What do you suggest for her to practice patience?
She should take it slow. Realize that the more she takes so quickly, the less opportunities that will wait for her.
Okay. What type of soulmate is best for her soul?
Someone who's quiet, someone who's also very genuine, someone who is patient, someone who's kind, loving, likes children,
Mm-hmm.
and someone who is an old soul.
Okay. Will that type of soul come into her life?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like to spoil any secrets or spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she met him before.
Okay.
I'm just not going to tell who it is.
Okay. What are her objectives? What is her purpose in this life?
Her purpose is to mainly love herself. To mainly love herself and be selfless. Change the world. And unlearn that she is a burden.
Okay.
Because she is not a burden.
Do you have anything to say specifically about these things you mentioned?
No, I think I stated it all.
Okay. What is something special about her soul?
Her soul's so bright.
Mm-hmm.
She's very special. She's very kind.
Mm-hmm.
She's still fresh, so that's mainly it for now.
Okay.
Until she goes to her next life. She will gain more abilities, but she is a very good beginner,
Mm-hmm.
and she learns very well.
Okay. What talents or abilities does she have in this life that she has not used or have underused?
She used all talents, but one thing she can use is the ability to give it all. She hesitates because she feels like she's a burden, hence why she feels like some task that she does, she starts and she doesn't finish it because she just keeps questioning herself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if she tries hard enough, she can stop that and just put her heart into everything without worrying about if she's doing a good job or not.
Okay. Does she judge herself harshly?
Very.
Mm-hmm. And where does that come from?
The feeling of being a burden.
Oh.
She judges herself very harshly because she wants to make sure that whoever she encounters can see the potential that they're able to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Because of her help.
Mm-hmm. May I move to the next question?
Yes.
How can she use her talents and abilities to help others?
Oh, that's the most apparent one. She's being a psychologist, so
Mm-hmm.
she's actually aiming in the perfect direction.
Okay.
She could be a teacher if she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she'd be perfect with little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because she has such a sweet heart. She's so new to this world.
Mm-hmm.
So she can probably start leading other souls
Mm-hmm.
with her kindness and her heart.
Mm-hmm.
And if she decides to learn the lessons that this life has given her, then she will do just as amazing. I have no doubt in her.
Mm-hmm. How's that body scan going?
Well, no conditions because she's so fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But if she keeps abusing her sleep, she's going to end up in some bumps and bruises. That's for sure.
Abusing her sleep?
Like, from what I can tell, Quinn doesn't go to sleep that early anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she stays up to do her thing. Maybe she stays up to worry too much, worry about her being a burden. But since you know, if she's willing to learn, then she might stop that.
Okay. You may have answered this, but I'm going to ask it just to see if you have any more to say about it. What career or careers are best suited to her in terms of her talents and abilities?
Even though I did say psychology or teacher,
Mm-hmm.
just anything to do with people.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell she's a chatty soul.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to mention?
That is all.
Can she get a better understanding of her relationship with the following people? And we'd like to know if she has karmic contracts with them. Her mother,
Oh, her mother. She was the soul of the man that killed her.
the father that killed the boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the father's soul didn't learn in this past life
Mm-hmm.
that he was a hothead.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this life she was placed together with Quinn again so that she's able to learn her lesson.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I know we're not talking to the mother's higher self, but I'm curious if you can relay to us what her mother's lesson is taking care of Quinn, being Quinn's parent?
I think the mother had a role of teaching Quinn to be patient, whereas Quinn had a role of teaching Mom to be to accept things for the way that they are.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
No.
What about an understanding of her relationship with her father? Is there a karmic contract?
Oh, I feel like he's a middle soul. It's the first time I've met him, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if there's a karmic contract with him.
Are you able to provide a better understanding of her relationship with him at all?
No.
Okay. Tristan?
The only time where she met that soul was in this life. I think he was there to teach her, which at that time she hasn't mastered her lesson yet, was that love is like a crystal. Not everyone sees it as a crystal, but it shouldn't be given so freely. And I guess she learned that lesson a lot better this year.
And what did she learn about that this year?
She learned that she needed to start loving herself, and she needed to start limiting her time and her energy into things that really matter, which is herself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Alex?
Alex, the soul came in as a reminder, to remind her of the first time that she is loved.
Mm-hmm.
And that she needed to be reminded that she's not a burden.
May I deviate from her questions for a moment?
Sure.
Why the pattern of getting so far into relationships and then being heartbroken?
Because Quinn's occasionally, like, when she started bumping into relationship after relationship, she wanted to get rid of the fact that she's a burden.
I see. Okay.
And that she thinks that if she can meet someone who loves her just for the way she was, then that she officially will be stopped being a burden. But she hasn't had the best luck of that. So she decided that she was never going to stop pursuing to find someone until she is no longer a burden in someone's eyes. But I do know that is the problem.
What needs to be done to help break this pattern, or is this part of her karmic contract here to learn how to break it?
I think that is a part of her karmic contract.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it hurts her at the moment, but she'll be fine.
Okay. Are her lessons in this lifetime related to the lives of others?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Like I said, she's teaching the spiritual entity of her current mom right now to accept things for just the way they are. she's connected to her best friend Jonathan to tell him that he should stop worrying. Alex, on the other hand, is just there to be a reminder. And that's it.
Okay. Is there any karma that she needs to work through in this lifetime?
Mainly the burden part.
Okay. Anything else you want to mention?
No, that's it.
Are there any soul agreements that she should know about?
No.
What blocks would be most beneficial for her to work on in this lifetime, and how can she overcome them?
The blocks that are most beneficial is she should just take a step back and start looking on the ways that she would love others and start applying it on how she would love herself.
Okay.
Because she's always planning like little gimmicks on how to like win the hearts of others, when she could just use those same gimmicks on how to win the heart of herself.
Mm-hmm. Is that a healthy thing for her to do?
That's the best way that I can put for the physical to understand.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about blocks?
No, that's it.
Is she doing anything that is preventing her from aiming her truest potential?
Yeah, just the part where she needs to learn how to love herself.
And you'll be helping her with that throughout her time here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If her soul and her body wants to cooperate with me. Because I know that the Creator gave us free will.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't force her to not agree with me if it's like, let me rephrase that, I'm sorry. I can't force her to agree with me
mm-hmm.
if she doesn't want to agree with me.
Mm-hmm. Does she have any health issues, known or unknown?
No, she's very healthy. Like I stated, she's a pretty much like almost a new soul. So
Okay. How can she better access her intuition, her connection with you?
not think so much, just do.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's always like, she's caring,
Mm-hmm.
but she used that caring in a wrong way, where she cares so much about her surroundings that she forgets to love herself.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. What will ultimately be the most important things to her in her life?
Learning to love oneself.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to find value in oneself.
Anything else?
That'll be all.
Is there anyone that is present in her current life that she's interacted with or met in her past life? I think we...
Her mom,
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan, Alex.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Why is she able to communicate her thoughts well, but her actions are different than what she says often?
Because her soul and her body sometimes doesn't align.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels that way because the soul of her mom sometimes obstructs her ability to be free. So her soul speaks for her, but sometimes that's not strong enough because her body sometimes refuses to align because of fear of judgment, fear of being a burden again. So she does everything in her power, or tries to rather say impress or like adhere to the souls that she interacts with around her, so that she doesn't feel the feelings of what she felt like in her second life.
What can she do to align?
She can meditate. She can learn how to control her thoughts and emotions better.
Okay.
And she can also acknowledge that the souls have a role. And her role is to be kind to herself, to love herself.
Okay.
Hence why she's dealing with so much difficulty, that there are many souls who give her scenarios of what it's like to not love herself, but she's trying.
Why does she keep dreaming about seeking the love of her life?
Because she desires to have someone who sees to her, to have someone who loves her for who she is, and to have someone who makes her forget that she was ever a burden in any of her life.
Does she need someone else in her life to help her remember she's not a burden?
No. Because I can see it through herself that she can live a life on her own without knowing ever again that she's a burden. But the reason why I feel like another person is suitable for her is because her soul is so pure and bright. I feel like it can serve as another purpose for another person's lesson.
Why is she challenged by issues such as these, and how can she move past them? Being true to herself.
Like mentioned before, she has a hard time being true to herself because she doesn't like herself. She finds herself as a burden because all of her past 2 lives, she felt like she didn't belong. And she's working on that.
Okay.
Because she has her life quickly taken away from her. And she felt like she hasn't learned enough or experienced enough. Hence why she wants to take as much as she can in.
Saving money?
I think that's the same thing with the impatience. Because she sees money as a way to connect with the world, material-wise, something she can earn. And from what I can tell, she usually spends her money on gifts or other people. Hence, she has a hard time saving it. But her fuel to having a hard time saving it is the ability to not love herself. To have the struggles of loving yourself due to the burden.
You just mentioned the next one. Why is she challenged by loving herself, and how can she move past that?
Yeah, she can move past that by, like I mentioned, like investing ways how she can show love to others, onto herself.
Okay. Knowing relationship boundaries. She falls in love quickly and gives too much.
Like the reference point before, not knowing how to love herself and being taken away from lives that she couldn't experience in the past.
I see. Okay. Procrastination.
Inconfidence with herself, the lack of ability to love herself, and the inconfidence from that slows her process and makes her double think that if I do this, will someone still love me?
And you'll be helping her with this?
Absolutely.
Will she find a point in her life where that's not an issue anymore?
Like adulthood, like later on, like not now for sure.
Lack of grit.
Because she feels like from the past life that she got taken away, she also feels like if I try, will my life get taken away?
Lack of self-confidence and self-worth. How can she move past that?
She can move past that by just knowing the fact that even though her soul went through so much, she's still here making an impact onto the world. Her soul is still bright, and that is something that she should know, and I hope that she should know in order to move past that.
Okay. She has a fear of dying alone.
Oh, she'll end up with someone. I think it's just, again, the fear of the burden and lack of self-confidence, lack of self-love. And once she's mastered that, someone will come along the way.
There seems to be an urgency to have a relationship before she dies. Does it stem from the past life she was shown?
Yes.
Can you relate that? Can you connect it, please?
It's like she has the impatience and desires to be with someone before she dies is because her past two lives she could have barely experienced even a life. Hence she wants that love as quick as possible because she feels like there's no tomorrow.
Okay. Are there tomorrows?
She's learning that there are tomorrows.
Okay, good. Again, I think we've hit this, but I'm going to say it again in case I'm going to mention it in case you have any more to add. Feeling like she doesn't belong, like no one understands her.
Like, it all traces back to the burden. It all traces back to the life that was quickly taken away from her. And what she can do from that is that she can learn that she's okay now. She's with a good family. And she is going to learn, and she's going to do just great.
Thank you. Why do her hands shake when she's excited, angry, or has intense emotions?
I think it was from the trauma of the lack of control in her past two lives. I think when the old man died in the trolley, she just didn't know what to do. And also when her father in her second life decided to bash her in the head, it was a way for her to show how angry she was.
Mm-hmm.
But she couldn't hurt a soul because that's not what her soul wanted. So it stuck into a bodily habit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Higher Self, is there anything that we did not ask that you would like to address with Quinn today?
No, I think I addressed all.
Mm-hmm.
You've been kind and very patient with me.
It's a pleasure. What if I told you that you have the power to heal yourself, particularly physically, emotionally, and spiritually? Would you like to heal the past and brighten your now and your future using QHHT, a technique developed by Dolores Cannon? Hi, I'm Lori Lines. Visit my website to learn more about QHHT and book a session with me. I'm so looking forward to connecting with you as we discover together transcendence and healing for your highest good.